I will be forever the myth.
You're the king of kings, man.
There's always a pecking order. The little packers never mess with the big packers. So I'm a rooster, and he's a chicken, so to speak.
Well, now that you brought that up, let me ask you a couple. Let me bring up a couple names from those years and just get your thoughts on it. We'll start with 1972 with Frank Zane, who that had to be one of his best shapes ever. So, what did you think of Zane when he was on stage?
Well, I thought this. As soon as he walked on stage, I knew he had won it.
Yeah,
it was clear because he had the perfect combination of symmetry, the right degree of definition. Although he wasn't huge, he looked quite big because he had these small joints. So he had a package that was clearly the winner. And from then on, it was a matter of, well, who's going to be second, third, fourth.
yeah.
So that one was that was an easy decision when he won in that particular year. I think 72 was the best that Zane ever looked at NABBA. But then he continued on competing up until, what, 83?
Yeah, 83.
And he just,
last year, yeah.
Yeah, he had a slightly different look as he got older.
Yeah.
Maybe he was even more defined.
Yes.
But the other thing that stood out in 1972, because I filmed him in a park on the day that we went to the NABBA Universe finals. It used to be an afternoon show for the finals, and they would judge it the day. So we did this filming in the park, and I said to Frank, look, a roll of Super 8 film runs for about 3.5 minutes. How are you going to go for doing the posing routine? He said, don't worry, we'll pose continuously for 3.5 minutes, and I'll completely fill your film. And that's exactly what he did.
Wow. So he posed for 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, without any break, any clear duplication of poses. It was just fluid from beginning to end. 3.5 minutes of pure pose mastery. He was a master poser.
Yeah, he was. Tell me that story about when you guys went into the park. Wasn't the park like locked or something, and you had to find your way to get in there?
Yeah, that's right. Yes, it was a private little park in Hyde Park Square, which is very central in London.
Okay.
And it had a low fence around it, a gate. And guy that was helping me, who had a house on the square, didn't have a key to the gate. So we just jumped over the gate and went into this little park and did our filming. Yeah. And there was no problem. Nobody complained. It was just sort of the way things were back then. Things were pretty easy going.
Yeah.
And it was a perfect background. It was lawn and trees and buildings in the background. You can probably remember the background of the apartments and trees and stuff. It was a lovely background. And I filmed many bodybuilders in that park. And some years, so I did have access to a key, so I didn't have to jump over the gate.
And weren't you guys on your way to the finals when that happened? When you decided to stop and film?
Yes, that's right. Frank and I, when we finished doing the shoot, we caught a taxi together and we went into the finals. And then a couple of hours later, he was announced as a professional Mr. Universe for 1972.
Wow.